2023 saw a shift in e-learning, with companies turning employees into high performers that drive businesses toward their goals. E-learning refers to the use of technology to facilitate and also support learning. Consultancy firm G&G Advocacy CEO Michael Gullan says the need for tangible returns on e-learning investments was at the forefront. Gullan joins me now to chat more on this issue. Michael, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, the e-learning landscape witnessed significant changes in 2023 with a shift from a content-centric approach to a more employee-focused strategy. Can you elaborate on the key factors that drove this shift and how organizations are adapting to this change?
Good afternoon, Clark. Thank you for having me. Yes, I think we saw an adaptation or adoption of e-learning in the post-COVID environment and the new sort of hybrid working environment. But as companies took on and moved into an e-learning sort of ecosystem, the first wave of adoption really was to create a basic retrieval library and upload long format courses. And that did not produce the sorts of results that corporates are looking for, companies are looking for. And so the new wave of e-learning as we look to in 2023 and now in 2024 is understanding the needs of employees and understanding how meaningful interactive content and a focus on employees and understanding their need state and meeting them where they have the need state with the relevant content is really going to drive engagement with their e-learning initiatives and their ability to apply themselves and retain the vital sort of knowledge that corporates are looking for to apply in their workspaces.
Michael, one of the notable trends highlighted is also the emphasis on getting a tangible return on investment from e-learning investments. In what ways have organizations then reshaped their e-learning strategies to also align with the broader business goals and also ensuring a more measurable impact on performance?
Yeah, I think that's been the single biggest challenge in the learning and training landscape with the adoption of digital learning platforms is understanding what those metrics look like. And for the most part, we've seen two real shifts. The first is to develop or use a platform that allows companies to really understand the engagement on platform with learning material at a micro level. So in other words, what aspects of the learning material are employees engaging with and with what frequency and amount of time? And then secondly, building into that learning journey, the ability to actually test the application of that knowledge within the learning environment. And I think that's where things like technologies like AI and virtual reality have been such a boom for the e-learning landscape.
So the research also mentions the importance of meeting employees where they are, both in terms of location and also timing. How has that shift then toward flexible learning experiences also impacted the design and the delivery of e-learning content? And in extension, what challenges have organizations faced in actually implementing this approach?
Yeah, that's been a big challenge for organizations because the initial wave of e-learning adoption was to take the sorts of training material that was done traditionally in person, and those for the most part are long-form PowerPoint documents or Word documents, and simply upload them onto a learning management system with an expectation that that would deliver results. But to your point in your question, learners are humans, and we have relatively short attention spans. On average, an adult learner has a 10-minute attention span. And so it's about understanding where's their moment of need. And very often, that's in a particular that particular moment of need arises during their day-to-day work. And so what companies have done now is understand how to build much shorter bites of learning material that's available when an employee needs it on any device type at any moment of their choosing. And that learning material is developed in an interactive and engaging way that makes engaging with it and learning and applying it exciting and dynamic and relevant to their workplace. And I think that's really been the biggest challenge. And as we're seeing more and more companies adopt that approach, so we're seeing significant results.
And as we extend the conversation, mentorship and coaching at scale have also gained prominence in e-learning. Can you share examples of how organizations are effectively utilizing e-learning to provide mentorship and coaching? And what benefits are they witnessing from this approach?
Absolutely. I think, again, the initial approach to e-learning was, well, let's just do courses. But as we've encountered the sort of traditional working environment with a hybrid working format, with people working remotely more and more, has meant that the ability to interact, and particularly from a mentorship perspective, has been challenged. And so the ability to create group scenarios in a learning environment, in an e-learning platform, and share information and tie that back to courses or knowledge pieces has become increasingly important. And so what we're starting to see more and more is corporates develop mentorship programs across the full spectrum of their employees that allow them to gather online as opposed to in person around structured ideas or concepts, and to receive mentorship from their more experienced peers, and then apply that knowledge and return back in time, a few weeks or months, for that knowledge to be tested and discussed.
Michael, beyond upskilling and reskilling as well, organizations are also using e-learning for various initiatives such as diversity, equity, inclusion, employee well-being, and also digital transformation. Now, how has the role of e-learning then evolved in addressing these broader organizational goals, and what challenges have emerged in this multifaceted approach?
Yeah, that's been a really big challenge, because e-learning traditionally is sat in the training department. But as it starts to be able to add value to the points that you've spoken about, now e-learning becomes a strategic partner to HR and other senior aspects of the business. Because when we start to talk about diversity and equity and inclusion and those very important topics, there's a very symbiotic relationship and partnership that training and HR need to foster. And so as we see those relationships becoming partnerships and collaborations, so we see HR teams seeing their learning partners as the executors of a lot of those strategies via the technologies.
We've had an insightful conversation with Michael Gullan. He's the CEO of Gullan & Gullan, really unpacking the shifts in e-learning in 2023.